Hello, and welcome to another episode of our journaling reflection series for sensation and perception. Last time we had a pretty lengthy video with the cave allegory, but this one will be a little more brief because I'm going to give you something that's more to do on your own time beyond what I'm saying in the video. So here we go, I'll set it up for you. Recently, in class, we've been learning about vision in general, and specifically color perception. And I made a claim in class in which I said that color vision is basically a chemical sense, like how taste and smell are chemical senses. And the reason that I gave you for that claim is that the physical difference between different colored objects mainly is having to do with how the molecules that are close to the surface in those objects are absorbing and reflecting various wavelengths of light. And the sensory information that we're getting from our three different cone receptors is helping us to distinguish between different mixtures of the reflected light wavelengths that are caused by those different molecular structures in the surfaces that are reflecting it. So maybe this feels a little bit weird to think about, but basically when you see a color, it's your eyes giving you a certain kind of chemical analysis of what you're looking at. That's not exactly in the same way that smell and taste are doing the analysis, but it's another way of measuring sort of the same stuff as if you taste or smell it. The color of it is kind of telling you about the chemistry of what's out there. Okay. So, for the sensory experience journal, I want us to give ourselves some opportunities to notice that fact that there's some connections between taste and smell and color, so we can appreciate how they're all related to the chemistry of the things in our environment. So here's what you're going to do. Find at least 3 items. It can be as many as you want, but at least 3. I don't think it will be very hard. And these can just be anything that you encounter in your daily life where you can identify in some way how the color of the thing tells you something visually about what it's going to taste or smell like, or both. So obviously if we're talking about taste, these should be things that are edible. So, I'm not telling you to go around and taste things that you shouldn't be tasting. So, just among edible things, I don't think you'll have a hard time figuring out some examples of how the color of a food gives you an indication of what it's going to taste like or smell like. So, when you do think of some of these examples, go ahead, give yourself an opportunity to experience that relationship between the color and the taste. And think about the fact, you're not going to know exactly what it is in the chemistry necessarily, but the fact that there's some chemical stuff that's going on in that item that is related to both of those, the visual sense and the taste or smell. And with smell, you could possibly find even more variety of examples for how the color is correlated to the way that it smells. It doesn't have to just be edible things. So for smell, you could potentially do anything. My guess is that you'll probably find it easier to notice examples of the color and smell correspondence among naturally occurring objects in your environment as opposed to human-made or artificial things where that might not find it quite as easy, I think. to find those relationships. But I'm interested in what you can find, so I don't want to give you too many suggestions that could limit your creativity with this. All right, so in the journal, write down something about each of the three things and how their color and their taste and or smell are related, and give some description about it, like what you noticed, and what that correlation is between color and taste, or between color and smell. And finally, tell me a little bit, for a little bit of extra reflection, why do you think that it's useful? Why would it be useful to us in life to have another chemical sense? So we already have taste and smell, and now I'm saying here's a third kind of chemical sense, which is your color perception. What's useful about adding that on in addition to the other chemical senses we already have? All right, I hope you enjoy this exercise. You have plenty of time to do this in daily life, and I will see you soon.